Hello and welcome to the OverShadow ShadowCast. I'm Thomas Anderson. As always, I'm joined by Tech Wizard Abigail Mowat.
Hello.
And today's special guest is Brian Anderson.
Hello.
For your return. So, we'll start with the simple first question of what have you been playing? Guest first, as always. Brian?
Still playing Assassin's Creed Rogue on backwards compatibility. Just making slow and steady progress because, as you know, it's just full of hunting down enough materials to improve your ship, so you can't really progress it too much.
I take it you're talking specifically about wood, metal, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Is it wood, metal and cloth for sails?
Yeah, that sort of thing. And you play it for like half an hour and then you get a bit fed up with it.
Mm.
So then I stopped that and started playing something called SuperHot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've heard of
And
that.
that's a game where, as far as you stand still, time moves incredibly slowly. But if you stand still and don't move, you can aim around and shoot. But then when you move, time then progresses, and the people around you will move.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to take that into account when you make your decisions at the time.
And it's got hand-to-hand combat and shooting in it, but really simplistic versions.
So it's all simplistic, but it's very, very well done. It's incredibly joyful in short bursts.
Yeah, and you're fighting sort of. I think your character's a black version, and they're red versions of like glass 3D models.
Yeah, they break
They
apart.
shatter,
It's
yeah.
just all really interesting. It's all unique.
Is there a story to it that you can?
Not
see
really.
or-
There probably you could piece it together
Mm.
afterwards. But as you're playing it, you're just like, oh, it's quite an interesting mechanic, concept. And you kind of play along with it, and then after about half an hour again, maybe it's just me, but I'm like, that's enough of that, I'm going to chill.
Okay, so you just have like ADHD. But I have been looking at SuperHot myself and been quite interested. I really wanted to try that game. I think for sure we'll do a little video on it. It's something you can definitely do a little video on.
No, the levels don't take long at all.
Yeah.
You can easily just play it for a wee while and you get pretty much a lot of what there is about it.
Yeah, but I think that from what I've seen of it, it's a bit puzzly. It's a bit like a puzzle sort of.
Yeah, you play it and then you die, so you retry, and then you piece together the routine of it,
Uh-huh.
and then you try to beat it based on what you know.
And there's not one specific way to do it though. You could do it several.
No, you can do
different
it. You can
ways,
do
so-
it several different ways in a different lengths of time. That's where they give you a leaderboard for how many attempts or how quickly you've done it.
Ah, right. But it's set up for you to find your own way to do it while
Yeah,
still puzzling out.
Player
the answer.
agency is paramount.
Player agency.
Yeah.
Hmm. I don't know. Did they make a sequel or did they start making one?
I don't know. I think it was not a wee indie effort, wasn't it? I think. I could be mistaken, but I've not seen a SuperHot 2 out there.
As in Wii, as in small, not Wii, as in Nintendo.
Well, no.
Yeah.
Small,
There's it was an indie development. Considering it was pretty successful for an indie title, you would expect them to have made looked at making a second one. Because
Maybe
it
they
was
are.
pretty successful. I'd like to think they are because that did look very interesting.
No, it's a good game. I was trying to play FIFA 18 as well, but because my Xbox Gold ran out, they're saying there's issues with EA Access subscription then, so I can't keep playing my trial. It's fine, I only had like 90 minutes left or an hour, so I'm not too fast.
That's a football match, Brian. You had
Yeah.
one football match left.
You remember you used to be able to play like full length matches?
Oh, that was so good. Do you remember that one time that we played?
Because you had the hacking button as well. It was
Oh,
PS1.
yeah.
You had FIFA 2000 or 2002,
Yeah.
and you could play full length matches. So it was like 45 minutes a half. The game would end up like 50-48 or something like that. And what also had was R2 when you're defending. I think that was one. And you could just hack your opponent. So they have these special animations for like completely dirty challenges. You just wipe them out.
Yeah,
Legs and
scissor
stuff
tackles
like
from behind.
So
and
almost
stuff.
like a real football match then.
Yeah.
Oh, it was amazing. They took that out.
Yeah, they had it. They had the hack.
Because FIFA became more and more involved with it, the more popular it got.
Yeah.
And FIFA was wanting to spread their own message with it all. So you could spend millions on player wages and transfers and all that crap, but you can't half anyone or dive in the pitch. That'd be too far.
Yeah. So you can completely destroy the economy of a small country, but you can't hack somebody. No, I remember that they still had, it wasn't the hack button, they put a dive button in, was it not, for PES?
That was PES. PES had a dive button, it was brilliant.
Yeah.
Because you play online in PES, And you play with my pal. And PES was notorious for its online play being terrible.
Yeah.
So it would like you just jump forward and
jump
and jump about.
The lag would make it jump.
So you'd be playing and like the guy you were playing would dive, but he'd be running with the ball and you'd made a challenge thinking you were close to him, and then the next second it was like pause, buffering, something like that, and then run about, and it would jump forward to where it was like 5 yards down the pitch.
Yeah.
And then you'd be like, no, I didn't do that. And then you'd see him getting booked, and you'd be like, oh yeah, he dived. It was good though, with the diving option, because you very rarely got away with it. It was just funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, the diving option would be good for comedic purposes, but if you're actually trying to constructively use it, I think the game came down on you pretty hard.
Yeah,
most of the time you never really benefited.
Which is the right way to do it.
Yeah.
Especially, it'll be interesting to see how they put in video refs. They probably won't bother because they aren't themselves video refs. Like, they're not supposed to get decisions wrong in those games anyway.
That's a point. The video ref is sort of already
But
there.
it would probably be like a wee gimmick. Having said that though, when I watched the trailer for FIFA 19, it has Ronaldo as the main guy in the Real Madrid kit. And the story is about the wee kid Hugo in his career joining Real Madrid and making it as an international superstar. And Cristiano Ronaldo plays a major impact on the story. And Cristiano Ronaldo has just moved to Juventus from Real Madrid. So the story is apparently they're going to have to change a lot.
But just have you join Juventus. It's not like youth talent coming through an Italian team is nonsense.
Nah, well, it wouldn't be youth talent by that point, would it? You'd be a star at whoever Premier League team he's been playing for.
Oh, that does make sense that the best players would go to an actual league.
Yeah, well, the biggest club in the world.
Exactly.
But the funny thing was...
It's better be funny if you're laughing already.
In the career mode, in FIFA you can always like make transfers and like wage offers. Whereas now, because it's been going a lot more RPG with like all the dialogue options that they had in the career mode for the Alex Hunter guy that we were just talking about.
Oh man.
Now they've got that now for career mode when you've got you talking to like the chief executive for the other club. And you say, oh, how about this much? And then they go, oh, and then there's like wee animations where like, and you say, no, we want this much. You know, and you're like, ah! That'd be interesting. I don't see why Football Manager, a game like Football Manager doesn't take like a couple of years out and throw all the ill-gained fortune they've made from releasing the same game every year and chuck it all into some sort of interactive RPG management experience like that.
Do you know what I think they should do? Genuinely.
That would be brilliant. I would buy that. I think millions of people would as well.
Yes.
Especially if you chucked in all the fun stuff that comes through, like, oh, your star striker's been found at the nightclub with 2 grams of cocaine in his pocket and the police have come outside. What are you going to do? That'd be brilliant.
If you could start, like, you could petition the Prime Minister to cut tax on player wages or something.
You've got a meeting with the Foreign Secretary for that work permit for the Japanese player.
Did they not have that?
No, they had work permit.
No.
People,
Did they not have that you could around tax with the? I don't know if
there was a game years ago they had, and Ali McCoist was the sponsored face of it.
It was Ali McCoist's football.
It was director of football game.
Yeah,
like that, and you could get around tax, which is very ironic, Abigail.
Okay.
Because a certain football club, well, we won't go into too much detail, but they had a few issues with tax.
They had a few issues with tax. We'll leave it there.
Oh, I think I know which one you're talking about now. Yes,
well,
yes, the one that was in all the news.
Yeah. And that was just absolutely hilarious to see that doing the rounds on social media. But
it was pretty funny.
We
realise how upsetting that would be for some of your listeners, so we won't go into too much detail, shall we?
No. So
you want to go into detail, do you?
No, I don't. It's just this is supposed to be journalism. We can't shy away from it just because somebody might get upset. The point is that they have done things like that before in Football Manager games where they have gone into certain other wider aspects, like in LMA where you could build the stadium and actually control its design.
Amazing. You're effectively a chairman who was a football manager. Sorry. You weren't just the manager.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing, like, the latest Football Manager games, you're not just like, so I'll go back, Football Manager 2012 was the best one. That is when it peaked. And it got everything right, even with the 3D pitch being a bit rubbish. it was still the best one in terms of managing the squad, managing the finances, putting in offers, contracts.
Because that's the best fun of it.
It went a bit detailed, but not too much.
Yeah, that was the best fun.
Tried in the games after that.
They got rid of it.
You get direct to no. You can still do all that, but there's so many more options to it that they're almost saying this is how realistic it is. The contracts nowadays.
Right.
So you need a degree in contract law. You need a director of football to manage it all. You need someone who manages all the agents and all that sort of thing. You can do it all if you want, but it will be effectively a second job in human resources that you've got for yourself that you don't get paid for.
Yeah.
And you're not going to enjoy that. So it became ridiculously complicated, didn't it?
It also became ridiculously not fun because of
Yeah.
that. It was.
I know, this sounds like the most riveting game of all
tedious.
time.
No, but the games before that were amazing. They're so addictive. Like the actual joy of like building a club up, and especially like a young Scottish one, a small Scottish one with young Scottish players.
Aye.
And building those players up and making them all better by improving the infrastructure and all the coaches.
Yeah,
and
but
training
in fairness,
facilities
that
and
was a
stadiums.
massive weakness of Football Manager 2012. Is that if you took a
Yeah.
a Scottish
There was
club
a
like
limit-
Celtic or
there was a limit
Rangers
to
or
the editing,
Hearts
yeah.
or whatever and won the Champions League 8 times in a row, you were still classed as like a 3 or 4 star
Yeah, the
reputation
league wouldn't get up that much.
So you were limited. The sponsorship would go up in like dribs and drabs a
Yeah.
year rather than reacting to how successful you'd been. Or, that sort of
Yeah.
stuff. It was just
yeah, it
total
wasn't a
nonsense.
perfect game, but
No, that was
Well,
its major
that
weakness.
was its weakness.
And that's
That
all
if
they
you
had
could
to
change,
fix
like,
for the next game, and they didn't. They bothered
you
rewriting
can't
the
change
whole
that
thing.
either, though.
I know, but that's the point. Is that
You
the
should
growth
have to,
aspect is gone? Then you've just put it up.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
But I really.
But the other aspects of it were still a better one, though.
Yeah, every other way it's better, but this is what I don't understand is why they didn't focus. They focused on realism, and even the people who took it seriously didn't enjoy the realism. They enjoyed the fantasy part where you're doing the contracts up and you're training the players.
Because they say they've got Football Manager Touch that you can play. They got like a classic mode in the PC one, and then
That's-
you've got the Touch one for your phone. And it's just old style Championship Manager, and it's too quick. There's not enough involved.
Football Manager Touch sounds a little bit problematic as a headline.
I know it does.
Football Manager Touch, considering the 70s and 80s. I mean,
Well, there's a football youth coach.
exactly, yeah. I'm not entirely sure that's a great name for
It's,
Football Manager. It'd be like
I think that's just your mind wandering off there.
BBC television.
Get the gutter, man.
BBC headline star simulator Touch.
No, because I remember being at school and the boy sitting next to me in maths, he just played Football Manager Touch all the time on his phone.
Oh.
And it was.
It's
He had
such
issues.
a bad name. Football Manager Touch. Whoa. I mean,
Somebody
I
in the
know
marketing department obviously was not thinking straight
They
when they
just-
thought
I mean,
of
Well,
that.
I think they were thinking straight because they made a lot of money.
Yeah, but I'm talking about
No,
the
the
name.
marketing can still be bad and make a lot of money.
Oh yeah, don't get me wrong.
No,
That's
but if it's bad, it gets more notoriety and then more publicity.
Ah, right.
More people buy it. More people bought your product because
Well,
of your
hold
marketing.
on a minute, right? Director of Football Ali McCoist, do you want to avoid paying tax? That only became a big thing years down the line. It was still a terrible decision. I mean,
No, the terrible decision there was
making
Certain
a
football
game.
club not paying tax.
No,
Not
no.
Ali McCoy saying, "Aye, put me in the front of your game." Were they actually?
No, not that, but the fact that the game thought not paying tax was a good idea to be in the game, because it was probably a bit risky if it turned out to be something that's actually happening, and considering the sheer number of football teams, the chances are it would be. But
Speaking of,
no, Brian, we've still got to talk about. I mean, you were talking about FIFA a minute ago, and I remember one of the great things about FIFA is if you get 6 players sent off, I think it is.
no, it was 4.
I think it was 6 when this game I was playing.
What, the GameCube one?
Yes, the GameCube one.
2002.
Where we,
No,
yeah,
3.
it was 2 or 3 where we did Yovo.
3.
Remember? Or 5. 2000, yeah.
It was 3. Yeah.
Where we played as Yovo.
Yeah,
remember?
because you could do co-op.
Yeah, and we beat Liverpool.
But that in that
yeah,
game
it's
though,
funny.
because I used to play FIFA so much, I could find out the way to beat it.
yeah.
Like what people don't ever grasp is when you play a game like FIFA, they think, oh, that's how football should be played, or that's how it should work physically, or but it does work logically, but you can't think of it strictly in those terms.
Mm-hmm.
You have to understand like the parameters of the game and how they react to things that you do and how they'll act given that. especially over players, based on like how far you can run with the ball, or how far they kick ahead of them, or how the passes go straight to the feet or slightly ahead of them, or how quick they are to turn, blah blah blah. How much strength plays a role, or speed, or defences, tackling. And then you yourself react to that, and you know how to exploit it.
Yeah.
That's how you beat a game like FIFA. Tommy took a really long time to get together with that.
The whole
I taught you that it was mainly strength and speed that you had to look at.
Yeah, I know, but the point is that I just feel that with a FIFA game, you should be. The whole idea is it's supposed to be like football, so you should be able to just play it like football. You shouldn't be. Oh well, the referee's going to get this decision wrong, so I can't do this.
Wait!
The
No,
defender's gonna have.
that was never happened.
Well, no.
That never happened. That's rubbish.
Well, no, I take that. But Brian basically just defending his own cheating. That's the only reason you won so many times, Brian. No, but it was things like, you know, the defence can't do this, or the pass is going to... You know, the passing in those games is always dreadful, because they always end up passing at some point to somebody there is no way you ever in a million years meant to pass the ball to. It just doesn't make any sense that you would launch the ball there, or that you would take a shot from that range and blast it over the bar. I mean, the ability to put in an unlimited amount of power in your shot makes no sense to me. Because no actual player is going to deliberately blast the ball 500 yards over the bar.
No, but they can.
No, but they can.
But they can. They can. And the point being that if you're actually playing the game, and you want to have any skill at all involved in you winning at the game, then you have to be able to judge appropriately how much power you should put into a shot. Right. And the reality is that they can either trickle the ball towards goal or blast it thousands of feet in the air.
Yeah,
but most of the time they will get it moderately correct.
Yeah, but the point I'm trying to make is...
And you've got to do that yourself to win at the game.
Yeah, but the point I'm trying to make is that I think that the sort of mistake area should be smaller and should expand if the person
No, but that's because you're rubbish.
Right, no, the mistake area should be smaller and should expand if the person is either unbalanced physically or is under pressure from a defender. That doesn't happen, at least not in the game I've played. I haven't played,
you played FIFA 18, the one I got the trial, and you played 17 with me, because I got that with the Xbox One S. But 18 was pretty good. I quite liked it.
No, I just think that it makes mistakes for me. That they are actually, if you look at them, terrible games. They're really technically terrible games. And so the reason I get upset is because I'm trying to play it the way that it should work. You know, if it was a good game, I'm trying to play it the way that it should work. Right. Whereas they're terrible, and I seem to just forget that for some reason.
I disagree. I think they are good games, but the problem with them is they induce rage because nothing will upset, I think, an ardent gamer more than the idea of being beaten or they're losing.
Yes.
So if you play any other game, that's less difficult to quantify when exactly you're winning, when exactly you're losing. In terms of playing a story or like a storyline, depending on how many people you've killed and how many times you've died, it's difficult to say you're directly losing or winning. You're just progressing.
Yes.
Whereas in a football game, at the end of that match, you've lost or you've won. And if you've lost, it's coming saying you've lost. You're either rubbish or you have to do better next time. And there's nothing more infuriating, I think, for somebody who plays games a lot and gets overly passionate about them than when someone or something directly shows you or tells you that you're losing or you've lost and you're bad at the game at that point.
What do you mean overly passionate?
Well, you. And if you're a sore loser into the bargain in general, then you're going to hate that fact that this game is telling you you're not very good at this game and you've lost.
Yeah.
And instead of focusing on it, you know, with a logical, rational, practical mind, you just get upset. And that's why people get angry at it and they focus on the negatives over the positives.
Sure. I can do a better cartwheel than you.
I can do any cartwheel. I was in 2P in the highest, no, the best class, and we were doing all the subjects like swimming and football, and it was all great. And then we did gymnastics.
Yeah.
I was doing like bear rolls and sausage rolls about the
pencil rolls.
Pencil rolls, that was the best one.
What's a pencil roll?
You just lie down and put your hands up and roll.
You've never done a pencil roll, Abigail.
We always called them sausage rolls.
Well, a sausage roll is hands next.
Hands down, yeah.
Pencil is hands up.
We just had the same name for it.
What sausages are you eating?
What pencils are you eating?
No.
We never called it a pencil roll.
Well, you just get out.
I don't know about this one, like.
No, you're fired.
To be perfectly honest, I grew up with a mother from another country, so maybe that was just a thing that they had
Yeah.
over there.
What
Yeah.
country is she from?
She's
Zimbabwe.
Zimbabwe.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's an interesting accent, that.
Yes, it is.
Does
She
she
has
have-
no vowel.
Okay, she has no value system.
She has
What?
we joke, she has no vowels. We
Oh,
have
vowels.
vowels.
Vowels, right.
So
She goes, yeah.
Is that the impression? Yeah.
My sister likes to joke. Old MacDonald's had a farm. Hey. She's gonna kill me now. She is actually gonna kill me.
That's really funny.
No.
Do you? This is a conversation for another day, but we'll put this out there. I personally find it strange that the Americans consider Y a vowel. Hello, America has responded.
You better watch your mouth.
Oh,
Sometimes why, yeah.
it's very, very angry, America. It's already written me
Well, I
an
suppose you
email.
have words just words that don't have vowels in it. Would they count it Y as a vowel then? So words like why.
But I think it really should be left up to the Welsh to decide what Y is.
Yeah, but we grew up with probably different pronunciations for certain words and different
Yeah, like pronunciation, for example.
words and words. What
Pronunciate and pronunciate.
pronounce?
Yeah, it's pronounced, but then it's pronunciation.
I don't think it's a big deal either or.
No, but I just thought it funny that you said pronunciation and I would say pronunciation.
I wouldn't worry about that.
No, I just find that funny. I'm not.
We
worried.
grew up with a dad who was constantly, "Was Stephen of them?
Oh, every
What?
time when he came
We've got
back.
Stephen Punter fishing."
It was when he came back from fishing. He suddenly came from a different part of the universe.
No, he did. He would go out there. The sun would affect him because his red face would be like ultra beetroot.
His
It
beetroot
would radiate heat and light and everything. It was just like.
It was weird because his face operated as a miniature sun, but also as a small black hole because it sucked all light in as well as emitting it.
Yeah, no, it was a weird one. Like.
It was really strange. So he'd come back from fishing, obviously suffering from sunstroke, and he'd just go, "Is it 12 under? Stephen of us in a boat?"
No, it was poison. I was a Stephen Punter fish.
No, he said it the other way around once. Maybe he'd had too much from a hip flask. But he came in saying, "It was Stephen of us in a boat and it was a 12 under."
Wait, what accent is that?
I know, it was
It
weird.
sounded like Mario, but I don't know.
I know, that
It was a Mario with a 12 pounder in a boat. There was a Stephen Punter in a boat with a 2 and a fish.
You need to get down what accent will people think our dad actually had, man.
He was half Italian, half something else.
What is happening? The redneck.
Anyway, so let's see back. I remember.
What were we talking about before we
It
got
was
into
FIFA.
accents?
Because it was FIFA
No, I've got it. It was FIFA. It was the
2003
Yeah,
GameCube.
and I remember
we were good at it because you just Y through ball it.
Yeah,
or you
That
chip
was the
through ball.
weakness.
You chip through ball and you could half volley from the halfway line.
Yeah.
I just don't particularly like FIFA games. I don't like.
It was like FIFA 07 with the RB shot.
Oh,
Where you just ran about the halfway line, hold an RB and shoot. And RB was like a controlled shot,
Yeah.
but that game considered a controlled shot could never actually go fully over. So if you just held the B button like all the way down at the halfway line, you had
Yeah.
a good chance of scoring from the halfway line
Aye.
and hitting the bars or like hitting the chance.
But I don't like those games because I don't like losing. I admit it, all the rest of that jazz. But I just don't think that they are good enough. I think that what I expect them to behave like is a perfectly reasonable demand, and they don't function that way, and it makes me annoyed because they just. So other people like Brian do very, very well because he sees the game as it is. I'm some sort of optimist who sees the game as it should be.
You're
And-
not an optimist.
and, okay, I'm some sort of optimist when it comes specifically to FIFA, and it doesn't actually apply, and so I end up losing, I think, because of that. But I was much worse before
You're not an optimist, you just got your head in the sand.
I have my head in very sandy clouds, let's say it that way. But Brian did do a bit of training, and I did listen, so I've learned a lot. I'm able to play with my friends and not get dropped 8-0.
Hey, I told you how to play and you went back and beat them.
Yeah.
Because I told you how to do it.
Well, you didn't tell me what to do. You just
I
told
talked
me.
you through it all. I spent ages with you. on it.
No. You practice and you did, but it was a case of these are the key concepts. Now let's practice them. It wasn't like you weren't in my ear telling me what to do during the game.
Like South Park.
Yeah.
The funniest bit ever of that. Wait, I don't know, should I talk about that?
Yeah, on the show.
There's an episode of South Park where one of the wee disabled boys in it's called Jimmy.
Yes.
And they're all like 8 to 10 years old.
I've seen South Park.
Aye, so Jimmy's got
Was Jimmy the one in the crutches or the one in the wheelchair?
yeah, the crutches. It's always like
yes.
So he's in the crutches, and Cartman gives him dating advice. But it's not just dating advice. They end up in an Italian restaurant, Jimmy and this girl, with Cartman at another table with all this like wire radio like communication set on, and Jimmy's got on as well. He's got on his head, but no one can notice for whatever reason. And Cartman's feeding him all these lines, and he's like, "Wait, if she finishes waffling on, just say, 'Wow, how insightful.'" And then she says that, and he goes, "Wow, how insightful." Then she says something else. He goes, "Alright, well, she's finally stopped blabbering on about this one. Say, 'Wow, I never thought of it like that. Thank you so much for telling me.'" And then he goes, right, and then he keeps doing that for another few lines, and it cuts to Cartman, who's like, "Nice, Jimmy, very nice."
I think I remember that episode, but it's been a while since I've watched it.
I immediately thought of the one where Jimmy's on steroids for the Special Olympics.
Oh, yes.
He attacks his girlfriend. Like, "You don't understand, guy here." No.
The Apocalypse Now. No, it's platoon music comes on.
Yeah.
In the hallway, he's like bashing the walls. Like,
"What have I become?"
He's like, "What happened to that boy I met last week in recess?"
It took me so long to work out what that was, recess. I didn't understand.
Did you not watch Recess as a child?
Yeah, but I still
We
don't
watched
understand it. Anyway, no, I remember playing...
We're not in class. It's a break time.
It's playtime. But I remember
Time.
playing FIFA with you, and Craig and Paul came round.
Yeah.
And we told Craig that the normal tackle button was the slide tackle button.
Yeah.
The slide tackle button was the normal tackle, and he ended up getting 6 of his players sent off, and the game got cancelled. And I won by default 3-0.
That was really funny.
And it was so stupid, because why didn't he figure out? Why didn't he figure out that it was the other way around? After the 3rd player gets sent off because you've halved through him at 90 miles an hour, why didn't you figure it out? So to get back to what you've been playing, what are you thinking about Black Flag? Because you've given us
Black Flag?
Sorry, not Black Flag, about Rogue, because you've given us an in-depth analysis of everything else. So what do you think of the new
I think the main guy is an interesting interpretation of an Irishman.
I don't think he's not Irish. He's born in New York.
No, but the Irish American then.
Yeah.
That accent is like...
No, he's Irish American.
The accent is awful.
It's
And
terrible.
Not just the accent or the actual character itself.
Actually, the character's alright.
the characters are right, because they do a pretty good job of saying why you would switch sides and all that.
Exactly, yeah. It's quite a good, as I said last time, it's quite a good evaluation of what would happen if the assassins sort of lost their way a bit, and I quite like it for that. But what do you think of some of the more normal aspects, like the extra enemies?
It's just like fishing for materials, and you just get fed up with it. You just want to play a good story.
Have you tried going in a shop? Because I'm pretty certain you can buy a lot of them.
Oh, I'll try that.
Okay.
And you weren't able to do that before?
No, you weren't. But I think you can buy... I don't know if you can buy the upgrade stuff,
Because it's
but
the
you could
metal
just
stuff
focus.
and all that. Yeah.
Well, you could just focus on taking on the ship, so you don't have to hunt anything if you did that. But
No, because they do hunting when you walk around places, and then you get the hunting challenges.
Mhm.
And they're alright, because they're really easy. You just get your rope dart out, throw them,
yeah.
catches whatever it sees in sight, and you do it within like a fifth of the time you've been set.
Yeah, but the rope that doesn't really help when it comes to getting some of the upgrades, where you need to have a certain number of creatures, so you don't want to have to go and farm them, so you go and buy the stuff instead.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, but what do you think of the new enemies, the ones that hide and then try and kill you from cover?
oh, the assassins.
Yeah, I think they're called stalkers.
They get annoying, but they're interesting. Makes you rethink your approach to some things.
Yeah, you can't just bomb through it wondering why all the bad guys are...
You
just
can
the
bomb
same
through
type.
it, because it's
No,
really
but you
easy in
can't just
combat.
go running down
You
the
just
street and
dodge
have them
X,
totally
like guy
ignore you.
A X.
No, what I'm saying is you can't just go running from one place to another. and not be hunted until you do something ridiculous, because the whole idea of being incognito is that they're looking for you anyway, otherwise you're just okay.
I think it's a bit creepy when you're all like...
Yeah, and then they start whispering. That's a bit
It reminds me
weird.
of Dishonored.
Yeah, but they're not going to... Is the whispering happening in his head? Because it's obviously they're not sitting in a bush going...
No, because you go into the wee...
They are.
I think they are, because you go into the wee eagle vision thing and then...
No, they're in a bush, but I don't think they're just going...
They're doing something weird though, like...
I killed a couple during the game, and I've got screenshots of this, I think, where their bodies would then ragdoll and pop in a strange way, and you would see straight up their clothes, because their clothes are designed for easily running, so they look a bit like the prostitutes in the game. But the clothes are designed for easy running, so there's lots of openings in the ladies' clothes, so they pop up weird, and you see their underpants, and you're like, I don't know what's going on here. Why is the game trying to show me this? But I think it's accidental, so I'm not really that bothered by it. But how are you feeling about the 3 games you've mentioned?
Rules already just suffers from the same issues I've already stated about
repetitive
making you
system.
farm things so you pay £6 to advance the story.
I don't think that happens. I think you can pay £6 in game money. 600.
Yeah. And the other one was SuperHot.
Mm-hmm.
That's good, but again, take it in short doses.
Take it short doses anyway. So.
And then there's FIFA, which I've not played for ages now.
Okay, so it's you're basically handing out drugs. As in, not like cocaine. As in prescription. As in, take only 2.
A pharmacist.
Well, no, it's like a prescription. It's like
A doctor.
you don't just absolutely down all your medication. You take it in doses. Is what you're basically saying, Brian. Those games need to be taken in doses.
Yeah. If you are like quite busy and slightly stressed through the week, then you don't need that at the weekend.
Yeah, that's
No.
the point. Yeah, you need something a little bit more. Yeah, I found something pretty.
Just more relaxing, nothing where you're not having to.
That's
Yeah.
why
Completely
user creep,
concentrate.
You just run through the world. And
Yeah,
yourself
yeah.
and the wee ways to play.
I absolutely got mind boggled by the game I'm playing at the minute.
What's it?
Dirt 3. It's a sort of rally racing game.
Oh, I heard they were really good.
Yeah,
Stu haven't Dean had them.
I really liked Dirt 3, or at least I really did. I had the hardest difficulty straight from the start, and I really enjoyed it. Thought it was a good challenge. It doesn't add too much, but it does make it rally-esque, which is different from something like Forza. But I have really enjoyed it until we hit the Gymkhana Drift Challenge, and
Oh, it's just stuff.
the Platinum Award is for 145,000 points, and the closest I've got is 139, and I just do not see where I'm supposed to get any more. It really is sort of like it's draining my like of the game, because it's so tedious and so difficult to do, and I really think that they've set the scores for this particular challenge alone incorrectly. I really think that it should be 135, because I felt I had absolutely tanned that when I got 139. I felt I'd done really, really well, and it still hadn't pinged for me.
Wait, are you achievement hunting?
No, I want to finish first in all the stuff. I don't think there's anything for that.
Do you have to?
No, I just want to. That's
Just a personal goal.
Exactly, it's just the way I like to play them.
Stupid.
No, it's not like Forza. I've got first in all but 3 of the events quite easily, to
Let
be
it go.
honest.
You can't win every of them.
No, but what I'm saying is that I genuinely think that this is because I've set the scores wrong. It's 25,000 for a bronze, 60 for a silver, 100 for a gold, and 145. And I think that
They've made it unnecessarily complicated or difficult.
I think
Say.
they've genuinely just... There are some games do this to try and... Instead of making the game difficult in its mechanics or in its strategy or in anything, or equipment management or anything like that, they simply hike a little number in the coding so that you can't win as easily. It's as simple as that, and I personally think it
Right,
to
so
be...
at the end of the day, you've reviewed the game, everything else worked fine apart from those races, that's it. Move on. Do something else. You played all the rest of the game apart from that, haven't you?
Yeah, no, I haven't. This is very early on.
Well, you just said you've done all of them. There's only 3.
All the ones I've done so far, and this one's just sticking out like a sore thumb as being something like I'm
Can you
saying.
progress the game without doing that?
Yes, I can. I just don't want to. I want to try and figure out why this isn't working properly. Because that's the way I see it, is that there are some games like Dark Souls which are designed to be difficult, and there are other games where they just change numbers in the coding so that you magically can't win as easily, and that's the way it feels like here. They've just put in the 145,000 number to make it difficult, with no real explanation as to why. I mean, previous Gymkhanas have been hard. Like there was a Smash one you had to do where you drive through blocks, but all you had to do to beat that was drive through all of the blocks. So you knew what the challenge was. In this, I haven't got a clue why I'm not getting the number that I apparently magically need.
No, I can understand that, wanting to get a perfect score just for your sake more than the actual game's sake.
Exactly. I mean, even in the races, you're driving against other characters, even if they're NPCs, they're drivers, they're bots. In this case, they're bots. You're still. I can see why I didn't win because that guy finished first. In this, I haven't got a clue.
Yeah.
I can understand that. I just think it's stupid to get upset about it.
I'm not upset, it's just that I've got to try and figure out what they've done wrong before I can say what it is they've done wrong, because right now I'm putting it down to magic code numbers where they've just set it far too high. But I also want to try and beat it because I think you can. I just think they've deliberately set it like this for no real reason. But out with that, if just talking about the game itself, not what's aggravated me and been on my mind recently, is that genuinely it has been quite fun to play. Most racing games I've played are either road or track. These are track, but they're off-road track. Some are in the snow, some you're driving through puddles of water. It feels different because of that, and it is an old game. It's a 360 game made backpack recently, I think. No, I think it was made backpack last year. And I could see why somebody who was playing it now, like I am, wouldn't find it revolutionary, but it might have been at the time. I never played it when it originally came out, but it doesn't feel quite. It's not as good, obviously, as something like Forza 5 or some of the more recent ones, because you're dealing with an older system. You're dealing as well with an older controller, so the touch responsive sort of rumble triggers that you have in the Xbox One controller, they're not there. I don't think the software is there to use those, so it's a bit difficult to tell when you're about to skid out compared to the more recent Forza games. But I have found the races to be quite challenging and very short. You can get them done in a few minutes, and that's quite key for a racing game like this, because it does have shortcomings because it is quite old.
Yeah, you don't want to become repetitive.
They'll play, apart from becoming repetitive, its shortcomings will play on you the longer the race is. But it does have a replay mechanic in it where you can rewind it so far and play on, but you're limiting the number that you have. I think it's 5 or 6.
They seem to be common for almost all racing games.
Yes, but I'm not sure how common they were when it came out.
No, the dirt games are really highly regarded by racing fans.
But I would...
So is it more of a simulator?
I'd say it came out as a simulator, but it's not.
It's not a simulator as such, but it's more of a simulator than the other racing games that are popular.
Yeah, at the time for sure, but I think simulators have become more popular now.
Because the simulator games you get now, like can't remember the name of it, but there's one they play online. Like Rubens Barrichello was playing it online with people and stuff like that.
Really?
Yeah. Assetto Corsa or whatever one.
Oh, a little Corsa or something.
Like that. Yeah, that's one of them. And there's another one that was just a VR sim that you could play online.
Oh, nobody's playing a VR sim.
No, loads of people were playing. That's the one Barrichello was playing.
Oh, is it on the computer, did you say? Oh, right, sorry, I thought you were talking PlayStation VR.
No,
PlayStation VR didn't do... Yeah, I mean, it's quite expensive.
No, but it was on the computer and it was quite popular. That's the market for stuff like that, actually.
I think Forza, the actual track ones
you
are
can
quite
do
simulation.
it's either or, it can be.
No,
it
but
can very
also
much be a simulator, but it can also go the other way.
The PlayStation VR one that you're talking about was... Sorry, the PC VR one. I think I know what you're talking about there. I think I saw a video on it.
Yeah.
I really can't remember the name of it now. I really can't remember the name of that. But with Dirt 3, I found it very enjoyable, challenging in just the right way, to be honest, with the exception of that drifting challenge. The drifting doesn't work very well for me because I can't figure out where I'm making points and where I'm not and why. But the rest of it seems really, really good. And it has a good mixture of stuff. It's not just rally. It has not just rally as in traditional rally sections, like in the Tour de France, where they split it up into sections. This has other things as well, like head-to-heads and large groups of people driving a racetrack, and it's quite... I found that it doesn't get repetitive or boring because it as you said, it has a large variance of things in it, and it does it quite well.
I remember the names.
One
of them's called Assetto Corsa. And there was iRacing. iRacing's the VR one, with Barrichello and stuff like
Is iRacing the one we have to buy packs?
I think it may.
The game's free, but you buy packs to make it work. Yeah. But I would if you like games, rally games or racing games, or particularly this sort of slightly sim-esque thing, they try and go for quite a bit of realism, but not necessarily too much. Then I would recommend it to play about with. But you might get a little bit annoyed with some of the things here or there because it is quite old, and especially when it came to the drift, I think the drift sections aren't particularly to my favour, and I quite like drifting in games, so I'm a bit underwhelmed by that section. But I have been enjoying it, and I will probably keep playing it and finish it, but I might abandon my challenge of getting all the drift stuff. I might just leave the drift stuff because it seems to be poorly done, and if I'm not enjoying it, what's the point?
No.
But I gave it a go. That's what I can say. Or you can put that on my gravestone.
I gave it a go.
He gave it a go.
Tommy Anderson.
Next. So
could not get that achievement.
He gave it a go. We just wish he'd stopped to eat. Okay.
We'll just put a funnel in your mouth and just force feed you.
Ow.
Keep you going.
Political prisoner. So now it's time for Abigail's weekly roundup of GTA 3. Brian?
Yes.
Let us make music.
My ears are thumping.
Oh yeah, I forgot you're connected to that.
There's going to be time.
Go.
Well, as you know, last week I was getting very angry at the fact I couldn't complete 2 missions. I completed a mission, forgot to go back to my little hideout save, and then go do another mission. And during the second mission, I crashed off I exploded in a garage. That was it.
You crashed off the cliff, so your car was smoking, and then you tried to loop around and park the car, and then hit something.
No, I got into the garage and it exploded.
Did you bump into the garage?
No. It was already on black smoke mode. I don't know what happened.
No, but it has to go into fire after that. I don't think it
it wasn't... Oh, I don't know. Maybe it was on fire and I went to the garage. I was like, fingers crossed. Right. And I failed it. And
well, in fairness, the car's on fire. Take it for a wash. Put the fire out.
Exactly. You shouldn't have driven into a garage. You should have driven into a car
but I was
wash.
like this close to finishing the mission, like literally where I had to go.
Yeah, but you shouldn't have driven into a garage like Brian said.
But the police were chasing me.
Doesn't matter. You go to a pay and spray, and hopefully the spray puts the fire out.
I hope so.
Anyway.
We can only hope.
Anyway. So I spent another hour and a half, 2 hours.
To interrupt you there, right?
Oh my
you know
God.
how we were talking
I'm putting my head on the table.
Do you know how we were talking about before, how you could drive into a pay and spray and the police would magically not find you even if you were 6 stars? We did it last week.
I can't remember.
And that would be the same thing.
I don't know where these pay and spray things are. I've not seen one in the game.
I don't know if they have them in that one.
I don't think they do. I think you're making this up. I think you're making me sound like a complete and absolute idiot.
It was that era they had pay and sprays.
I'm pretty sure that GTA 3 map. I'm pretty sure they did.
Oh, by the way, I can't go to any other island. I checked that out as well.
I
went on a little wander and it has the Portland barrier or something like that. I can't go. It's got a metro barrier.
Yeah, okay, so there'll be you'll complete a set of missions and that'll unlock it. But not directly.
No.
I mean, in Vice City,
that was just something they did for
all of them
until GTA 5.
Yeah,
right.
That was just something they did for all of them.
It was San Andreas was this massive game that was amazing, and they did that for that as well.
Mm-hmm.
But you had massive stretches of water between the cities.
Yes.
So you could swim and take a boat and stuff like that.
Oh, anytime I try and get anywhere near water, I just immediately drown.
Yeah, and San Andreas.
Oh yeah,
you could swim.
San Andreas was the first game you could swim.
Right.
But
underwater as well, actually.
No, I just find it ridiculous that you could drive into the garage with the police chasing you, and they would see you go in and just think, "Oh, well, he's not in the house. Let's leave." Or he's not in the garage, let's go.
Yes, I do remember you saying that, but I thought you said spray painting, like you can go and get a car spray painted.
No, you can, but that's what happens with the paint spray. You pay to get your car resprayed.
Oh, right.
As long as they don't see you go in.
I thought you were like just like a sprinkler or something like that. I was getting really confused.
As long as they don't see you go in, so it's not just washing the car, they repaint the colour and change the licence plates, I think. As long as they don't see you go in, you're okay.
Right.
But it doesn't really make that much sense because they can just come round the corner, see you driving out of a pay and spray, which I think is labelled on the side of the building, and not look in and see you and think, we were chasing that guy, weren't we? I don't know, the green's putting me off.
Yeah, well, anyway, as I was
there
saying...
are paint sprays in GTA 3.
No, I'll have to find one then, I don't know where they are.
There's like a wee spray can symbol on the map.
Aye.
There is no symbol on the map apart from TJ North, the North Star symbol, and then sometimes an S or a payphone.
Yeah,
that
there's
is
no mini
it.
markers on the mini map.
Yeah, but you look at the map.
There's no map on GTA 3.
Is
There was
there
no
not?
pause menu map.
No.
Sorry, there we go. That's dreadful.
Just
That's
round the
alright.
corner from your starting house.
There's one.
Yeah.
Okay. I will be on the lookout for this pay and spray. Anyway, as I was saying, I spent an hour and a half trying to finish both these missions, and I just couldn't. This week, within the first 20 minutes, I completed both missions. So.
High fives. High fives all round. High fives. That was a rubbish one. Try again. That's better.
I got little hands. Anyway. Little hands. What was I saying?
You did it.
Oh yeah, I
20 minutes.
completed within 20 minutes. The next mission, however, I think I had to restart it a fair few times. It was whatever mission it was. I can't remember which one it was. Oh, it was one from Tony's. I had to go to enemy territory or something like that and kill some people. But yeah, that was driving me a bit mad because they just kept pulling me out of the car and they just kept beating me up. I didn't have time to properly, and then all of a sudden, oh, my control, one of the buttons to change the weapons, I decided to stick, and it's just stuck on punch. So
It's just a punch.
yeah, just punching
right.
people.
Right.
So I'm trying to fix that at the same time, but
Right.
yeah, I think after a little while I just got fed up and I literally was just going in cars and just seeing how fast I could go and what I could do, literally flipping cars constantly. Yeah, it was like what Brian was saying earlier, when you just get annoyed at something, you know, that's supposed to be like a relaxing thing.
Yeah.
And I was getting annoyed, so I just had to switch it off.
Well, I think that. Well, one question I've got is who's Tony?
I don't know. I think it's Tony. He's a mobster.
Yeah, he sounds mafia. He probably is.
Mobster.
But I
Yeah,
think it's the mafia.
I think
you
it's
do
Tony.
missions for.
Mako Manson or something like that, isn't it, I think?
I don't know. It's a T on the
It's,
map, and then there's the J,
the
who's
actor.
who's the mechanic.
The actor Mako Manson is in Reservoir Dogs and Pulp Fiction. I think he's Tony in it.
Tony's.
Oh no. The guy who plays Tony in that is the big chubby Italian guy, I think. Who's in a lot of mafia films.
Tony Cipriani.
That is real name.
That's who. No, that's the character.
Who's the actor?
I'll look it up.
But yeah, it's getting to that point now where it's just feeling too repetitive, and I'm not really enjoying it because the map is driving me crazy.
Yeah.
So I just can't figure out where it is I'm supposed to go, and then I'm going in a completely different direction, and all of a sudden I've killed one too many pedestrians, and the police are after me.
Right, but I think that if I'm being honest, from the sounds of the way you're playing the game,
I'm not playing it right.
no, it sounds like you're learning it.
What do you mean?
It sounds like you're learning how to play the game.
Yeah.
It's because that's what you're just making constant mistakes over and over again, and then you're getting through it. The gap between those two sections of playing, you learn something. So you're just learning. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, I just needed to, because the second mission I had to sort of drive someone to like a club or something like that, and then there's a police raid, and I have to wait for her to come out of the club, but the police are just there. So you're just like sitting, like waiting for it to come out, and you need to remember not to actually drive off without her, because you have to come back again. Literally, it's like, oh, there's a police raid.
I was trying to figure out what you meant now. Just like, oh, yeah, I've done this as well. Where you just absolutely gun it to get away from someone shooting at you,
Yeah.
and you leave the person you're trying to protect in the middle of this firestorm. Damnation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you would think that they would give you like a few more seconds before the police arrive to actually get the girl back in the car. so that you could just drive off.
Yeah, that would be nice. But it's a bit easier in GTA Online, I think. They're a bit more forgiving with that. The guys don't necessarily shoot at the person you're protecting.
And I also decided to go for sorry, were you going to say something?
Yeah, it was just in GTA 5. You get 3 playable characters.
Alright.
2 of these like middle-aged white guys and one's in the single player. Sorry, 2 middle-aged white guys and one's a young black guy.
Yeah.
If you're the 2 white guys, the police come up and say, "Stop what you're doing, we're going to arrest you," stuff like that. If you do anything with the black guy, like if you just run on a golf course, you get a police start, and they'll just shoot on sight. They won't even try to arrest you.
Yeah.
So, shall we say slightly more realistic then?
Yeah, political commentary, but accurate.
Yes. But I also decided to have a go at playing like the taxi mini games. So you can just go around pretending to be a taxi driver and pick people up.
Right, okay, that'll help you practice your driving, not blow the car up.
But it was interesting because it kept saying that there was somebody there to go pick up, but I accidentally ran them over. But it was saying, yeah, he still wants to get picked up by them. A little blue bar is like, maybe just leave them.
Yeah.
But
I know what Brian was saying earlier on about how if you're not having...
I should clarify earlier in my comment about running the golf course, they can play golf. It's the tennis course that gets the police star.
Oh, I thought you were right, because I did get stars with Franklin on the golf course.
I think that would be more accurate, but
yeah,
for whatever reason I can just have one.
But, well, maybe it's Tiger Woods, maybe that's why,
true.
but then Serena Williams. But I think I did have stars with Franklin on the golf course, but that was because I was just shooting at people randomly.
Don't get the golf buggy in your driving because that's from Vice City. So.
Yeah. Oh, Vice City with the Do you remember? I played Vice City and I was driving around in the car carrier, but it was an empty car carrier, Brian.
Oh yeah.
And I'd have the police chase me. I'd get 3 stars, jump in this thing and drive away. And then just as they were closing up behind me, I'd stamp on the brakes, stop, and their car would go up and over the ramp and disappear. And because if you took it, you could take one of these things around the airport, which was next to the sea. You could just launch the cars into the ocean and it would kill everybody in the car straight away because nobody can swim. The reason for Vice City that you couldn't swim, they gave... The reason that they gave, was the fact that it was so full of sharks you would get eaten straight away.
that is...
There's no sharks that you can see.
Yeah, but... that sounds like one of the silliest things I've ever heard.
I know, because GTA 3, what's the excuse there?
I don't know, literally I was just like bobbing and then I just sunk.
Exactly, you can't speak so you can't swim.
Yeah, pollution.
Get out of the car.
But I think there's one other thing.
Always roll down the window if you ever find yourself in a body of water in a car. Roll down the window, don't open the car. Don't open the door. That's just a little tip there if that ever happens to you in real life.
Who taught you that?
Do you mean if you're in water or submerged?
If you're in a body, if you are in a car and you're underwater
submerged.
and there's no water, like in the car,
right?
You need to roll down the windows. Don't open the car. I don't know who. I
But
can't
what if
remember
it's
who
only
that.
electric?
Well, why?
If
I
the
don't
engine
know.
has to be on, it's electric.
No,
I don't know.
Press the button.
No,
I don't know, but
No.
I heard that somewhere. Someone told me that.
No, hold on. Rewind. We've got to go back to this. Why?
Why what?
Why? I mean, it makes sense if you're in water but not
It's
submerged. You open the window and climb out. You've not flooded your car. But if you're already underwater, the water's coming in if you open the window.
Yeah, but if you open the door, it's more.
No, you can't open the door. So you have to open the window, but it's got nothing to do with over opening.
It is something that only works if you are in the like wide handle down, not the button one.
Yeah, I know. But what I'm trying to say is it doesn't make any sense.
I can't remember the reason why, but I'm pretty sure they say that you should open the window. You shouldn't open the car door.
Well, no, yeah, I think it's because you can't open the door because the pressure of the water is too much. You can't
yeah,
push
that's
it
what
out
I'm
the
saying.
way.
Like, don't try and open the car door.
Oh right,
try
no, you said
open the window.
Right, okay, but you phrased it as if
Sorry,
you could do
my
either
mistake.
one. So
Sorry,
which
my
one?
my mistake. No.
Don't turn the radio on. Open the window so you can get out.
Yeah.
Time is precious.
Don't sit there like you do sometimes in your driveway. Just listen to the end of your favourite song. I'm pretty sure that's I think I still that song QI once or something like that. They said that.
Don't ask, are we there yet? Open the window and climb out.
Do not wait for the sat nav.
That doesn't necessarily have to be in water. You could just do that anytime. So go there, out the window. Chuck whoever said that out.
Yeah.
After the millionth time.
Just listen to like Roy Orbison warbling underwater. So what do you think of... I think what Brian was saying earlier on was that if you're playing a game for enjoyment or relaxation and you're not enjoying it, you're getting stressed out, stop playing it. I think the rules are different for you because you're learning how to play.
Yeah, but at the same time, I am getting very frustrated with it.
Well, then stop playing for a while and get back
that's
to
what I'm
it,
doing. That's what I'm doing. But
I think that's
stop.
why RPGs are so appealing. Because they can be frustrating, but you can kind of go off and do what you need to do, or go off and what you want to do, especially in the open world.
Level up a bit, basically.
Yeah, well, just relax, chat to people, conversations. There's different aspects and different things you can do in the game. It caters to more of your needs.
I think it's one of the big pro open world arguments is that you could just go and sit and look at the world if you're getting stressed out.
But, I mean, there's definitely an issue with open world games, especially the past few years, just having nothing of interest to do in them.
Oh yeah. Far Cry.
But when they do it right, it's the best.
Nah, Far Cry.
And I think that's why people perhaps are getting more and more interested in the interactive storytelling element.
yeah, I just find that I'm just sort of left to wonder about not doing anything in the game. I like to have a more of a structured thing. It's not very structured, where you're just like left just to wonder about. I don't really enjoy that.
That's a shame.
I just don't.
Because I think you're going to love Halo, but I genuinely think that you need to get a bit more used to open world games because the people
I think that's fine if you're just getting used to games to play something more structured first, and then you've got confidence in what you're doing.
Because like
I think
when I was a kid, because we just had a PlayStation 1, I was actually very into PlayStation 1 games when I was little.
Yeah, they are quite structured.
Yeah. And they were very structured. There was a narrative. You have to do that to do this.
With the exception of Final Fantasy, where you
the ones I played, the ones
doing.
I played were very structured.
Harry Potter,
Harry Potter, Rugrats, Search for Reptar, but
a lot of those games weren't that structured though.
Spyro
was, but
Harry Potter was.
Harry Potter was. You had an element of. I can't remember if it was Chamber of Secrets or Philosopher's Stone, where you had an element of open world.
There was an element of open world in the first one, the PS1.
I'm trying to remember.
The first
it's been a while since I played it.
It wasn't Game Boy Color open world, but it was open world.
No,
There were side quests.
Yeah, it was
not open world, but it wasn't structured.
It was structured, but it was structured in a sort of
not structured way.
It was like basically you had a lunchtime. That's how I would describe it. You know, you had classes you had to go to and quests you had to complete and whatever.
And you could do side quests.
You could basically just run around as well if you felt like it.
Yeah.
So it was a bit like you had a lunchtime between each of your missions.
Yeah, but even that I felt was more structured than GTA 3.
Well, in fairness, I think that's because
I just feel like there's no story progression whatsoever. I feel like I'm just doing missions.
Yeah, you are to begin with.
I feel like I'm just ticking boxes.
Well, you are to begin with because you're trying to get some.
You got to remember, a game like GTA 3 was one of the first of its kind.
It was world breaking.
Was it?
Yeah, it was genre breaking. They advanced the genre quite a lot.
Okay.
Thank you, Dundee and Edinburgh.
Exactly, but it's you have to stick with it. But I think that it does have structure from the point of view of it tells you where the missions are, go and do them, and it tells you what to do in the missions. But you're allowed to do what you want. And I think you're perceiving a lack of structure because the world is so much bigger.
Right. Okay.
And I think even when you get to Vice City, you'll feel better because of the fact that you can do. You've got a mini map you can look at.
Okay.
One of the things I am worried about though is that there are certain missions in certain games that you sort of have to do, which I don't see you being able to do for a very, very long time.
How come?
Because they're just very badly made and you've got to sort of be really good and luck it out.
Okay.
So hopefully there's not one in GTA 3.
Well, you will find out because I will keep playing.
You have news on Captain Spirit as well.
Yes, much news.
So the plan was for you
to play because I was so excited because I'd played Life is Strange. I'm looking forward to Life is Strange 2. I found out about it after the storm, before the storm. Wasn't that keen on it because I watched people play it, and then I saw the trailer for Captain Spirit. I was like, oh my god, this looks amazing, and it's a prequel. It's a sequel, prequel to Life is Strange 2, but it will affect how Life is Strange 2 will plan out when you play this game.
What do you mean?
I don't know. People are saying that whatever happens in this is going to impact on Life is Strange 2. So
I don't think that means it's going to retrospectively change the game.
that's what the community was saying, that somehow whatever you do in this game is going to affect Life is Strange 2.
But that game came out before this one.
No, what are we talking about?
Oh, Life is Strange 2. Oh,
yes.
as in 2, not as in...
no, the sequel.
Right, hold it, stop.
Pay attention.
No, stop, this is a fair point. Life is Strange 2 is different from... Is it After the Storm?
After this... So, you had Life is Strange.
After the Storm is a prequel to Life is Strange.
You had Life is Strange, right? Before the Storm was a prequel.
Right.
Captain Spirit is it's not a sequel to Life is Strange, but it's like kind of like a little
chronologically it's after it.
Yeah, well, it's set in the same world anyway. That's what people have been saying, because I've not been wanting to read too much on it, just in case there's spoilers or anything like that. Yeah. But whatever you play in Captain Spirit is going to impact on what happens in Life is Strange 2 in your game.
Oh, okay.
That's what people are saying.
That makes sense.
Now,
it does. It's just I thought that Before the Storm was what was the second game, so that's why I was so confused.
It's the second one that was. It was the second one that was made, but it's not a
called
prequel.
2.
No.
Right. So that's my point. Is I didn't know there was a game coming called 2, so that's why I was confused.
Okay. Well, if you'd played Life is Strange, you'd understand that Before the Storm part of that.
That's the end of the game.
He's not played it yet. I'm finally up on you on one thing.
Yeah.
It's a good game.
Yes.
It's got a really amazing soundtrack. I love the soundtrack. But
that's key to a good game as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
If you get the soundtrack right, you're really on your way to making a good game.
Originally, I saw that it was only going to be available on console. And then I saw, it's free to download on Steam.
Mm-hmm.
So, like last week, I downloaded it while I was here. Because I was like, I'm gonna play this during the week at some point.
Yeah, so it was they were pretty sneaky about that. The fact it was available for PC.
Yeah, so downloaded it, and then it was only a couple of days ago I got the chance to sit down and actually play it, and I kept getting all these cannot launch messages. So I managed to install it on my laptop, and then it's saying, oh, we can't play it because you need 4 GB of RAM, you need 2 GB of at least VRAM, you need DX11, and so we can't launch it. So I was like, okay, so I uninstalled it, reinstalled it, maybe there was a glitch, and it's saying the exact same thing again. So I went on the community forum.
Did you, just to check, you did check to make sure you had all that?
I didn't check at that point to make sure I had all that, because I thought what I was looking at was, I thought I had checked out. I hadn't actually gone onto the right page, but I thought I had it all. Anyway, so I went on to the Steam community, and I also googled, just how to check it all, because I'm not that au fait with computers.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Somehow I managed to actually get the page that tells me everything, and I had everything that it required. I've got DX12, I've got 8 GB of RAM, and I've got like loads and loads of VRAM, so I don't understand what was going on. So I went on to the...
So you're more than in excess of the required.
Yeah, right. So I went on and checked my internal memory, everything's fine. I tried to relaunching Life is Strange to see maybe there was something wrong with Steam. Mm-hmm. And Life is Strange launched, it was fine. And then I went on to the Steam community, and apparently I'm not the only person that's been having this problem. Apparently it's 50-50. People are downloading it, people are being able to play it, some people aren't being able to play it. Some people are being able to fix the issue. I'm at the moment still trying to fix the issue on my laptop. But then I saw an article saying, apparently it's really laptop users that are having this issue.
Specifically
laptops are having this issue. And they don't really know why.
So you should be able to play it eventually if they fix that.
Yeah, hopefully there's going to be hopefully there's going to be some updates, because if this continues, they're going to alienate a large portion of the people who originally played it.
Yeah. Because
from what I gather was one of the main reasons it became so popular was because YouTubers were playing it, and then a lot of talk happened about it because it was just a very good game, and then it just sort of picked up more notoriety as the year progressed, really. I remember it's been a while. It's a few years ago that it came out. Was it 3 years ago that Life is Strange came out?
But what's this got to do with popularity?
Well, it's just,
I think that they'll alienate some of their player
that's
base.
What I'm saying. They're going to
upset the rest.
Because
so they have to fix it.
From what I understand is whatever they've done to this, whatever however they've made this game is how they're going to make Life is Strange 2.
Ah, right. So they're basically
That's
saying
what
if
I
you
mean.
couldn't play this, then you cannot play the next one.
No.
So you might as well just give up on our
Yeah.
franchise.
Which makes me really angry because, like I've said before, it's the most recent game I own and it's my favourite because just of the dynamics of how you play it out and the fact that it's a very structured game.
And it has a good story.
Yeah, it's got a really good game, a good story. That's the kind of thing I'm into.
Yeah, but that's really, I mean, it's sort of
it's annoying. It's annoying and
unsustainable.
Yeah, and I'm very, very irritated, shall we say, that that's happened because I've been looking forward to this for quite a while since I found out it was going to happen, and I really love the games.
Well,
that one anyway.
I don't see it being a long-term problem.
No, I'm sure.
Because they have to fix something.
Yeah,
like that.
I'm sure they are going to fix it because otherwise people are. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. I remember a bug in a game that I had, Crusader Kings 2, stopped me playing it because every time you clicked into the religion tab, the game would crash. And you wouldn't be able to save it, and it would try and crash. Oh, it was that you clicked into the religion tab, and if you then ever tried to pause it, it would crash. Something weird like that.
Yeah.
And it just meant you couldn't play the game because this is a medieval game set in Europe. You need to check on what the religions are doing.
Yeah.
It's a huge part of the diplomacy aspect of the game. So I just wasn't able to play it. It was so frustrating.
It is because apart from that, I expect the game is brilliant because it's been getting rave reviews and it's not fun. It's not fun when I'm trying to Googling how to fix Captain Spirit and all I hear is it's an amazing game. It's an amazing game. So it's just
Yeah. So
quite irritated.
You said though that some people were able to.
Some people are able to play it, and I think it's mainly console players are being able to play it. Some people on PC have been able to get around it. But at the moment, every time I try and do what they're doing, it's not working for me. So I don't know if it's maybe just my laptop's too old.
So you were saying that it was mainly laptop
Yeah.
people that this was happening to, but it is happening to some of the others as well.
From what I gather, it's happening to some people, but it's mainly laptop users are having this issue.
Right, so they'll have to get to that. If there are issues affecting all platforms, even if it is mainly laptop.
Yeah, because people are saying, because what I've been reading is that people have been saying the exact same thing I'm saying. They're saying I have the VRAM, I have the RAM, and I have the DX11 or I have the DX12. They are talking about CPUs and GPUs, so maybe there's a contrast with that. I don't know, but I still don't know how to figure out. Besides, it's the graphics card, isn't it? In it, GPU graphics.
GPU.
Yeah.
Graphics processing.
Thank you. Yes, unit.
Like
yes, graphics processing.
GPU. Yeah.
Yeah, and then there's the CPU, and they're saying
computer processing unit.
Yeah, so they're saying there's something wrong with that or something like that.
For the graphics card and the processor.
They're saying maybe it's using up too much memory, but
yeah, because those things have inbuilt memory limitations as well. But I've never heard of that being I've never heard of something like that. And
then there are people who are saying you need to play it in windowed mode or something.
I've never heard of something like that. Someone like that having a good outcome where they didn't fix the problem.
Okay. So I just need to be patient then.
So either they will fix it, or you will not see a Life is Strange 2.
Well, my computer decided to crash after a little while, so maybe I just need to get...
It's just giving you time to get a proper gaming computer together.
Yeah, that's what's happening.
Can fully experience the experience. But yeah, I'm disappointed to hear that.
I'm incredibly disappointed with them as well, because...
Well, these things can happen on release much more likely nowadays than they were when I started gaming, because you couldn't patch anything when I started. And I think it's got to an unacceptable level. But I can understand why there would be some problems, but if they don't fix that really, really quickly, it's embarrassing, and it's already embarrassing. You can't have a release. Come and play our game. What, half of you can't play it? That's embarrassing.
Yeah.
It's sort of like the beginning of the Master Chief Collection, which almost it killed the Master Chief Collection.
Yeah, well, apparently this issue was only starting. I think the earliest comment I saw was from the 2nd of July. So maybe
Yeah, well,
Give them time.
yeah, hopefully. Well, it's been there for a while, so it's been over 2nd of July. That's nearly 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So when was it released?
I can't remember. Unless people are just trolling it.
What's it called again? The full name?
Captain. Oh god, I can't remember. The Amazing Adventures of Captain Spirit.
Let's just have a quick look and see when it came out.
Yeah.
26th of June. Right, so that's been
a while.
2 to 3 weeks. That's not good enough. That should be fixed already. That's a massive. If that was a bigger game, then it would be massively embarrassing. Like, imagine a Destiny rollout where nothing worked. Oh no, wait. So it's just, yeah, that's embarrassing. Yeah, well, that's a shame. Anyway, we'll keep an eye on that.
I will, and I'm gonna, at least once a week, I'm gonna be looking up for updates, see if there's any updates to the game itself.
Okay. Well, we're going to move on now.
Well, as soon as my computer starts working again.
And we're going to move to Abigail Asks.
Yes. Which brings me to the big question.
Dun, dun, dun!
If I was to get a new gaming laptop / computer, is it better to get a computer or a laptop? And if so, what should I be looking out for? I'm really testing your brain today.
Yeah, my brain's not happy about it. I was cartwheeling all day yesterday. Come on, give me a break. Brian, you start this question.
Just dirty looks
then.
all around.
Gaming laptop or PC?
I know the question. I have no idea. It's totally what you got right now, a laptop.
Yeah, I've got a Toshiba, like basically that one.
Basically that one. Huh?
Basically
it's
that
a
one.
satellite.
The one that's on the table at the
How
moment.
much room have you got at home for any type of computer you may be able to set up?
Not much. So I've got like an old wooden desk with drawers on the other side.
You've got enough, I think.
Do you think so?
Yeah.
Okay. Because what I was thinking of maybe getting what's it called, a tower?
It's a gaming desktop,
yeah,
tower.
and then getting a monitor.
I would go with the gaming desktop because it's just easier to. I think I read this somewhere. It's easier to pack. You're going to get more out of a bigger component, so you can put bigger components physically into a big tower than a tiny little laptop. A laptop is all about size. They can be powerful, really, really good, but your size limited in a laptop. You're not in a desktop. There's a lot of free space inside a desktop tower, so I would go with that. Also, it's much easier to like expand it if you want to slot out some RAM and put in some more. I would go with the tower.
Right. What should I be looking out for in terms of memory and things like that? Because the ones I could see was like 8 gig of.
I would look
1 terabyte.
up as advanced a game as you can graphically, and that will give you an idea.
Okay.
That's the best way of doing it. But I would probably wouldn't go for less than 8 gigs of RAM.
Because I was looking at
No, I wouldn't go for
laptops
that.
and computers, but they both pretty much had the same sort of like RAM space.
I would not go with less than 8 gigs of RAM.
No.
And I would try, if you can, to get 4 slots for RAM to go in rather than any less than
I don't
that.
understand that, this whole...
RAM slot in.
Right.
So RAM is...
Is it like a little circuit board or type of thing?
Yes, it's like a few inches long and an inch big, wide, and you put it in, and there's slots for that. And my computer, when I had one that was working properly, had 4, and it just makes it much easier.
Okay.
So I'd go with 4 at least, and 8 gigs at least. And you probably want... I would look this up, but I would probably go with a quad core processor over dual, because games nowadays I think can harness the full power of a quad over a dual. Don't go for a single. That's just nonsense. I don't even know if they do singles anymore. But I would look that up as well. Do games use dual core better or quad core better? Because it doesn't matter how fast your quad core is. If games don't use them yet, there's no point.
Right.
But if they do, and I think they do, I would go with that.
Okay.
And you want a decent graphics card, so you'll have to have a look at what games the most advanced game recommends, and then there'll be numbers to go with that.
So when you say most advanced game, like just on the market for a PC?
Yeah, just try and find something that really taxes a computer. Like, the classic to this would be Crysis, but that's years out of date now. So you need a game that really taxes a PC, and then find out what its requirements are. Not just it's required, but it's recommended specifications, and that will give you an idea as to the sort of thing you need. Don't just go for the biggest on the market because we've got no idea, that's just a waste of money, really. You pay a premium for the best stuff, which isn't worth it.
No.
But that's what I would go with.
Okay. So desktop, not laptop.
Yeah, really.
Because you can sort out the RAM in a desktop than in a laptop.
Well, no, you can adapt it more easily, I find, but it's bigger. So you've got physically bigger components, and those components can do more because they're physically bigger.
Okay.
If you can make something let's say 1 inch wide that can do so much, if you make it 2 inches wide, you'll make it do more. It's as simple as that. Even if it's not double the power, you'll get more out of it, so you can get more power out of it. So it's always going to be more powerful.
Okay, right. Well, I will browse the internet.
And you had a cooling problem, so this will probably help with the cooling problem.
Yes, my laptop overheated constantly.
Yeah, I think your desk is rubbish to put them on, to be honest, but a tower is much easier to cool. So I've found in the past it's been much easier to cool. So.
Yeah, because it's just standing up. It's got air all around it.
Well, it's also got air inside it, but you need to make sure there's a gap at the back. But if you're plugging cables in, you normally have a gap at the back anyway. Yeah. So that's what I would go with.
Okay, thank you.
You've got to balance it for yourself on the manoeuvrability aspect, but yeah, I'd go with that.
Okie dokie.
Also, it's easier for you to just leave it, say if you're processing a video or something like that for exportation.
Because I can never leave my laptop by itself.
Yeah, you could just leave a desktop, no problem.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Okay.
Abigail has successfully asked. You were useless, man.
Well, you didn't know what. You didn't. How did you have an answer?
Okay, so let's go to the news now. Small piece of news at the minute is that I was playing a little phone game, Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. Now what they normally do is they'll have a special event where they release new characters that you can win by doing these events in the game.
Yes.
And those characters, so when the Han Solo movie came out, they did this for 5 characters, and they had a special event where you could get these characters, one for each of them.
Mm-hmm.
They recently came out with a special event a couple of days ago for Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic characters.
Yes.
And it makes me wonder if someone, obviously not EA because they have no actual interest in it, but maybe someone is developing a KOTOR game somewhere. Maybe it's just an expansion for the Old Republic, but makes me think someone's developing a KOTOR game somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they are.
I agree that on the balance of all the other evidence, they aren't. But if Disney do pull the sole license from EA, maybe somebody's putting something forward, and maybe the contract says that EA has to sponsor all Star Wars media.
Well, is Disney wanting to buy out EA? Did you
No, they're wanting. They were thinking about moving the exclusive agreement they had with EA for selling Star Wars games,
right, and
broadening it to other people.
Oh,
that's what
okay.
the rumour was.
EA bought the contract to make all Star Wars games.
Yeah, because EA haven't done very well.
But they won't. As long as they make money, Disney and EA won't care. It's Disney.
I think they're going to...
I know you're worse than EA.
I know what you mean, but they're going to hit a barrier. I think they're going to hit a barrier where people are just like, no, I'm not doing this anymore.
KOTOR won't change that from a money point of view.
No, EA won't go anywhere near KOTOR, I don't think, but what I'm saying is I'm trying to work out why they did this, because the special events are usually to advertise new characters. So why have they done this with all KOTOR ones? I don't... It sort of makes me think there's something.
I think it's old hat and they won't go there.
It's quite probable, but
it may make something similar, but it won't be KOTOR.
Yeah. No, it's a shame anyway. But I just thought I'd get that voiced because there's no real reason for them to have done what they did if there wasn't something coming.
Maybe they'll surprise you. Who knows?
Fingers crossed. So Red Dead Redemption. So Red Dead Redemption 2, there have been some press releases in the past couple of weeks. and they've been given some explanations to why they delayed the game. It's now set for release on the 26th of October. And one of the things that they said was, while testing the game out, they found that one of the things they wanted to be able to do was just stop and just look at the world. And they found that while you were moving around in the world and interacting with it, it was a very, very good, real open world realism.
Mm-hmm.
But if you ever just stopped and watched it, you noticed that it just wasn't doing anything by itself. So they said that they delayed it to try and input some of this sort of you're viewing the world, you're not making it run sort of aspect. You know, like in real life, if you don't interact with the world, it still does its thing.
Yes.
But in this game, they were saying that it wasn't. There was nothing out with you. So
it's like everything just froze if you weren't doing anything.
Well, it wasn't just that it just froze. It's just you realised that there wasn't anything out with what you were doing. It just...
Okay.
It wasn't like it started up because you were doing something. It's just that you didn't notice it because you were doing something. So you were too busy to notice that the people around you weren't doing their own thing.
Okay.
If you go barreling through a town on a horse, you're not going to notice that everybody's just standing there. But if
Everybody's
you
a
stop, you're
statue.
going to notice that they're all just standing, staring at you. But so they've been adding some things to it to try and build the realism. I'm not going to give away too much because I'm not a great fan of leaks and stuff. I think you should try and find out about the game, when it's ready. Because I think leaks might be what killed off Star Wars 1313 completely. So
I don't know.
for me, I play it a bit safe when it comes to leaks, even if we are in journalism.
Yeah. I saw that Walmart in Canada accidentally leaked a bunch of games that were coming up. Did you see that?
Yeah.
What was that?
Walmart Canada online accidentally released all the titles of the upcoming games for the year.
And some of them hadn't made their own press releases yet.
No.
Oh, really? Hadn't even made them?
Yeah.
That's not good.
But see, that sort of thing, I don't see the point in that. This is not... I know it's journalism, but that's not like really important for people to know.
No, but
so I that annoys me when... I mean, that's an accident, but I think that you just shouldn't report
oh,
it.
I thought you were talking about what I just said. I thought, no, that's annoying.
No,
say that.
sorry, no. No, what I mean, you've pointed out that they've made a mistake.
Yeah.
That's absolutely fine. And other people might want to talk about the mistake, absolutely fine, and they've made a mistake that they'll have to deal with that. But I don't see why people go hunting down for leaks because I don't see the point.
Well, they do it with films as well.
That drives me mad. I don't
see
understand
the
why
point.
people do that.
Why would you do
And
that?
television.
Scripts and stuff like
Yeah, and then they just go and they just blast it all online.
Why do that? I mean,
no, but they do it because people view them and read them.
No, but
why do people view them and read them?
That's the point
question.
I'm making, yeah.
Well, sometimes you don't actually know you're going into that's what you're watching, and then they'll just...
Well, they
happen.
leaked the story to Batman. There's a Batman comic where he's marrying Catwoman, and they leaked the last edition, or the edition with the big story twist in it. And like, why are you? The guy who wrote it was furious. Of course he's furious. What are you doing?
Well, I know that taking this back a fair few years now with Twilight, they leaked the first chapter of the Midnight Sun or something like that, which was supposed to be from the guy's perspective, and there was a massive hubbub about that. And then they leaked. I
think leaked is the right word. Because it's like we need to fix that problem and not. Yeah, I don't like applying.
It's a difference to a spoiler. It's different. I think that's a different.
No, a spoiler is something that's fine for me. You give people warning, and you can spoil something with a leak, but a spoiler can also be a spoiler after it's out.
Yeah.
So it's not the same thing, but I think that a whistleblower is where I have respect. So that's why I don't.
Yeah, but a whistleblower is somebody who's releasing to the public corruption or something like that.
Yeah, that's the point I'm trying to make.
Yeah.
That's why I don't call them leaks or leakers.
No.
Because they're actually doing something useful. But this is just pointless.
They ruin it for everybody.
Yeah. But I'm trying to be careful what I say here about Red Dead Redemption 2, so I'm not giving too much away. but this is basically what they've said themselves, which is that they're going to have people with their own routines. So an example of that is if you don't take care of the gang that you're in, then they'll interact with you differently, and they might not give you some side quests or missions that you have to do. Also, the gang that you're in will have its own day-to-day cycle when it comes to the particular person who's the chef. Will get all the food together, go across to the cooking area, put it in a pot, cook it up, then shout to everybody that food's ready, and then all the people will come in and they'll eat, and then they'll disperse again, and they'll do that so often.
Right.
And that's their own routine.
Doesn't sound anything new.
No, my point is it's new for them putting it in. Also, I'm not leaking all the new stuff. That's what I was just saying. This is the example they gave of the sort of thing they added in.
It just doesn't seem extraordinary, that's all.
No, because I don't want to leak anything.
No, but I'm just saying, like when you're saying
It's
that,
going to be extraordinary, you just need to believe it. We're not going to tell you how.
When they give examples, I'll give them, but I'm not going to just trust some guy who leaked something he's not supposed to.
I'm not going into that. I'm just saying that point you're just making there about like, routines and all that. Like, I know it's worded in like an amazing way, but it's not extraordinary.
No, the point is it wasn't there before. That's why they delayed it, they're saying, to add that sort of stuff.
Well, it's pretty disappointing it wasn't there before. You think if you're making an open world game like with knowledge they know of that environment.
Well,
and what's required.
It's an example.
Well, why wouldn't they?
It's an example. Well, maybe they did. My point is, it's an example of where it was lacking. Whereas if you just sat and watched, there was no independent routine. But if you now sit and watch, there is, and that's an example of an independent routine.
Okay. So what?
I'm not saying this game's going to be great. What I'm saying is this is the reason they're giving for the delay, because they wanted to build on.
And I'm saying it's quite rubbish that they've had to delay it, because that one they should have been considering in the first place. Why did they suddenly wake up one day and say, "Oh, we've not"?
No, they didn't. No, they didn't consider it. They just didn't get it right when they first did it. So instead of releasing a game that wasn't working properly, they delayed it and fixed that problem.
Because they've lost a lot of the team that they had from before, especially the main guy. And then they've had this weird selling strategy. So not a lot of people are that confident for it.
Yeah, the selling strategy is very, very strange. The fact that they've hidden some content behind different versions of the game is quite weird. I don't know why they've done that. But they have added some other things which I think... So, in the first game, you couldn't really interact with general members of the public.
Right.
Without your gun, essentially.
Why without your gun?
That's how you shoot them.
But you said interact, so I thought like just chatting.
Yeah, you couldn't. So the only way you could interact with the people around you is shooting them.
Or lasso them.
Or lasso them.
Oh, right.
Yeah, that was
okay.
basically
Oh, that's what I thought you meant, like you need to have a gun strapped to you before you could talk to someone.
This is my talkie license.
In GTA 5, you could press a button and interact with people.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
So at the moment you can't. GTA3.
Well, what's happened here is that they've tried to change that so that you have more interactions with them. So they'll have a general conversation with you. You can go up to them apparently and you can rob them without your gun out. So you can just threaten them and then try and rob them that way. And sometimes they'll acquiesce and sometimes they'll fight back. Apparently when you're running around the world doing missions, your hair will grow and you'll get dirtier, and if you don't get that fixed, then people will start treating you differently because you're all smelly and dirty and haggard. That sort of thing I think is quite good. If your horse gets shot, it will limp, and if it gets spooked by shots, you'll have to calm it down. Apparently they've added some sort of stealth mechanics which weren't really in the first game. But they've been developing the AI for 6 years. The game's been in development for 8. And Strauss Zelnick, the guy who runs Take-Two Interactive, I think, who owns Rockstar,
CEO.
Yeah, was saying that they don't believe in success until it has been delivered, and they believe in a healthy case of fear. That's not a quote, by the way, over failure.
There's also the guy that said all Rockstar games so far have been under-monetized.
Yes, but he admits that they absolutely messed up with 2K18, which was over monetized. The microtransactions absolutely destroyed that game. It was basically the only way to play it.
You have to admit that.
Pardon?
You have to admit that.
Yes, but he said that they're focused on making a great game first, single player game, and then once it's released, they're going to try to fairly monetize the game because they think that all consumers have to enjoy all aspects, and it's like including paying for the game. And he said he compared it, I believe, to paying for a meal in a restaurant. It's not just about whether or not you enjoyed the food, it's about whether or not the money you're asked to pay for it is fair. So he's got a point, because Undead Nightmare was good DLC.
Have you played it?
A little bit of it. Have you've played it, haven't you? No. I've seen a bit of it as well that I haven't played, and it does seem quite good, and from what I've played, I quite enjoyed what I got to play. So it's that it's good in their favour, but what's bad as an argument against them is the fact that GTA 5 DLC was binned in favour of GTA Online expansions. So they'll have to change that, because Red Dead Redemption 2 needs single player DLC to expand its life cycle. Well, I don't think they're going to market Red Dead Redemption 2 for the same crowd that they did GTA 5, because it's not going to have it can't have the same online play. I mean, how are you going to sell expansion packs or just make expansion packs for Red Dead Redemption 2? Are you going to have like a pimped out sports horse?
Yeah, they will. No market the same way, the same crowd, because that's who make their money.
A horse with a spoiler. They're not going to make
any single player DLC like you're suggesting at all.
Oh, well, I think that you could be right, but I think that...
I'm right.
Alright, but I think that they should, because it would benefit them to do it the way I'm suggesting. But, you know, I mean, it all bleeds into the same question of is single player dead? To which Rockstar say no and EA say yes, but
Rockstar has said get in there.
Well, his most recent comments are no.
No, you talking about Take-Two guy,
Well, remember, he's the one that does make those decisions.
No, he's a mouthpiece. He's just the CEO of the board. Rockstar wouldn't hold out much hope for it. When you want like a single player game, you have to look towards slightly more obscure and perhaps up and coming developers, like CD Projekt Red and the like. Rockstar are like a different category. They're their own unique category of video games, and they've gone away from single player and more focused on online, and that's only going to increase because they make so much money out of it. From the fact that their publishing is so reliant on the Take-Two.
Right, well, I disagree, because I think that there will always be a single player market, and as other companies move out of that area, I think that Rockstar and Bethesda will happily sit in there.
Bethesda have just made an online game.
Yes, they have, but they are also announcing a new single player game, which we'll get to later. I don't think that it's dead at all, and I do think that
I'm not saying it's dead, I'm just saying Rockstar aren't like one side of the argument as opposed to the others you're trying to make out.
No, I'm not. They make games that fit into both categories, even at the same time. But what I'm saying is that they're not going to abandon single player, because with potential in things like GTA, Bully, and Red Dead, abandoning single player would effectively kill all those. Like if Bethesda abandoned the Elder Scrolls single player, that would kill that off completely, because the online stuff is not as good. Everybody knows that. I don't think they'll ever abandon it completely. It's too profitable.
Give it 15 years. No merged two.
I don't think you end up with anything merged about it. You just end up with an online game.
Yeah.
I don't think they'll do that.
But they'll say they're like merging the experiences, whatever.
I don't think they would be so short-sighted as to abandon. They might abandon it for a few years, but I don't think they'd abandon it long term. But the interesting thing for me about EA saying there seems to be a sort of yes to the question of is single player dead. Why did they bother to include it in Battlefront 2? Well, they included it in Battlefront 2 because it was one of the major criticisms of Battlefront 1. They didn't do it properly because it's an online game, multiplayer game. They just threw that in to sate people. But the point is, they thought they needed to throw it in to sate people. So obviously it's not dead if there's enough people out there shouting for it that they had to include one. So for me, I don't think it's gone yet. I don't think it will. I don't even think it's close to it. I think too many people enjoy a single player game. I think the sort of people who enjoy purely multiplayer experiences cannot keep that market going, because a lot of people who stick with multiplayer experiences stick with the same multiplayer experience for a long time. They can't play all of them. You can't give MMO or multiplayer Call of Duty 6 months of the year and play 8 games like that. You can't. So I think the bottom will fall out of that if you try and fill the market too much, and people will turn to single player games to developing them again. So they might go, it will be cyclical, or they might come back again if they do ever leave, but they can't leave long term, it's too profitable.
Shall we move on?
What do you think about single player games? Do you think they're dead?
It's the only ones I've been playing, so no.
I've
not played multiplayer.
They're dead. No one.
No,
you
but
can't
I'm
have-
talking
you
about
can't-
dead from the point of view of the big major names not making them anymore, and I just can't see them all doing that.
No one's saying they're not making them anymore, but they will gradually stop making them.
Oh, I'm saying I don't think they'll do that.
But that would be well. 50 or
Well, maybe 50, maybe. But then it would be...
15
Well, I
is a very young industry. Do that long.
It depends, I think, on the viewpoint. And maybe if there was some sort of VR system, it would feel single playerish enough. But they'd have to change the way you interact with the games. The last piece of news for today is just an interesting little piece that made me laugh, which is, we were talking about this before with James, about how Skyrim has been re-released about 400 times. It's been re-released again, and this time it's been re-released on Amazon Electra. I think it's called Electra,
What's this?
or Electa or something like that.
What's this Amazon?
It's a tiny little box, basically, that talks to you. And
Alexa.
you can,
Alexa,
Alexa,
yeah.
that's the one.
I was trying to-
Electra, didn't you? Yeah,
Electra.
I misheard that and typed
Comic
it
book
down.
characters,
I
Sorry.
that's
just
what they're
assumed
doing.
you were referring to Alexa.
Yeah, it's Alexa. In which what happens is she describes the world you're in, and what it asks you what to do, basically, and gives you your options, tells you what's in your inventory, and you decide what to do.
Oh, so it's like a plan your own adventure type of game.
Sort of. I actually thought it reminded me quite a bit of D&D, where Alexa is the
Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, where Alexa is like the dungeon master,
Right.
and you just answer the question of what do you do in each scenario.
Right. It reminds me of that bit. But reminds me of, I don't know if you ever played it. Was the not Guardians of the Galaxy? What was it called? Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Right.
They had a game like that. We went on. Yeah.
I've not seen it.
Oh well, you had a game and it gave you options and you could play it as Arthur Dent.
Yeah, so it's not like a play your own adventure like a book, because that gave you options.
Yeah.
In this one, it says to you, you're being attacked by a frost spider. What do you do?
Oh, sorry. I thought you said it gave you options. My mistake.
No,
sorry.
I might have. I didn't
I've
mean to
not-
say
not-
that.
I've
What I
not
meant
been
was
listening
it
properly.
it might give you some options.
But it's like you say the
But
D&D where you have to roll the dice.
Really, where it is it's D&D without the dice, or the dice is inside.
No, but I
the
mean
game.
like in D&D you rolled the dice to see if you could do an action or something like that, to see if it failed.
To see if
or
it was
succeeded.
successful,
Yeah.
which would happen in the game anyway, because there's dice rolls inside
Yeah.
games anyway. But what I meant by gives you options is that there might be some things where she has to tell you options, because you've got limited options.
Okay.
Like, do you join the Stormcloaks or do you join the Empire? I start my own faction. That obviously wouldn't work. The game would break
Okay.
down. So there's some times when there's options, but there's other times where it's you're attacked by a frost spider, what do you do? And you can use a shout, or you can use your magic, and she'll tell you what's in your inventory if you ask, all that sort of jazz.
Okay.
And there was an advert in it with Keegan-Michael Key from Key and Peele, and I thought it was a bit of a joke to begin with, because it's done in quite a humorous way.
Mhm.
He's screaming at the TV and he's throwing stuff around the room, and his wife's there, and then Alexa says to him, "You're down to 2 points of health, what do you do?" Right? So he says, what do I have in my inventory? Do I have any cheese in my inventory? And she says, you have 132 cheeses in your inventory. So he says, right, eat the cheese. Eat all the cheese. And the wife comes out of the background behind him and says, you know, the doctor said you can't eat that much cheese. And she walks off. And he's like, oh, thank you, honey, thank you. Eat all the cheese. So he eats all the cheese. And I thought this was a bit of a joke about how Skyrim's everywhere, and
Yeah.
you can buy it for whatever you want,
Right.
and they've just taken the mickey out themselves.
Yeah.
But no, it's real.
It was that, but it was also real.
But it's also a real advert for Alexa.
Mhm.
and to buy it for Alexa. I also found out there's a Skyrim Monopoly game,
Of course there is.
which I actually would like to get my hands on at some point. But someone is taking this a step further, and they've developed a system called the Numi, in which you can play Skyrim, and it costs 6,000 of your American dollars. And the reason that it costs 6,000 of your American dollars,
Why are you saying dollars?
I just want to do that, is because it's a toilet.
So you can play it on the toilet, or it's a toilet you can play. What?
So you can play Skyrim while sitting on the toilet. So you can literally sit on the toilet, doing your business, and shout at the toilet, telling it what to do in your Skyrim game.
Oh my goodness. There'll be somebody out there who will buy that.
Well, it wasn't actually, I don't think it was developed by
It's quite interesting.
our company. I think somebody just found a way of building a toilet with Alexa in it.
I'm shaking my head in disgrace.
Disgust, I think, is the word.
Disgust
I'm
as
looking
It
well.
was like super
Disgrace
advanced,
and
so like Japanese toilets, what the celebrities have got now.
Where they like thank you for using them.
Yeah, and as soon as you're done, they immediately like.
That'd be fun for a few days.
for. Oh, right.
That'd be fun for a few days, but after a few days you get annoyed at the fact that
You
your
immediately
toilet.
flush and they almost work as a BD after that.
Oh, yeah. I don't think the Japanese use toilet paper.
Yeah, so they're all there. Well, I
Not
was
too much,
I was in
yeah.
Italy and had toilet paper, but also a BD.
Ew. Public BD. I wouldn't use
Was
a
it
public
public?
BD.
It was a flat.
Oh, you were in the flat. Sorry.
You know, public toilets were a BD, eh?
Well, I'm talking
How
about.
bad-
I'm talking about public toilets,
Just a
right?
everybody's standing there with their trousers around their ankles trying to use the BD, like, come on man, hurry up, what were you doing in there?
I'm talking about public toilets in Japan.
Oh, no, I was talking about, I was saying people like toilet celebrities have got and stuff like that.
Well, I'm
And then
actually.
you said, Jeff, now you're just saying, oh, I was talking about public toilets.
Sorry.
But you could have said that.
No, I thought that's what we were talking about, because in Japan the public toilets shut themselves, automatically flush. I think some of them even have a bidet action.
It just sounds a bit scary.
Well, no, because they're really fastidious about toilet hygiene.
I'm
and-
studies about like cleanliness and hygiene in general.
well, to be honest,
when you
it's
see their
kinda-
fans picking up all the rubbish at the World Cup and
aye,
cleaning the dressing rooms.
but that's
and
not
tanking
fastidious about
and then,
hygiene.
no, but even like at the stadiums and apparently at their schools they have like kids that are designated as
Yes. I think that's a brilliant idea.
Aye.
be like cleanliness student for the week, and they go about and make sure everywhere's clean because it's not like a
Yeah.
punishment; it's a source of pride.
And they monitor each other to make sure that each person's doing the job, because if one person fails, they've all failed.
Yeah.
That's the kind of
But
attitude.
it's not like a Nazi-esque style monitoring. It's like
No.
if you ask the people around you for help, they'll help you.
Yeah.
It's about the job's only done for you once the whole thing's finished,
That's
even
what
if
I
you were
mean.
only responsible for a
That's
part
what I
of
meant.
it.
Sorry, maybe I phrased that
It's
wrong.
just the word monitoring has those double connotations.
but I mean, like,
Everybody
to be fair,
helps
like,
each other.
Japanese and fascism.
Yeah, no, I know they were hand in hand for a long time, but this is built on a sort of respect. You respect
but
the
they-
people
but
around
they-
Yeah,
you.
because imagine if
It's-
they brought that over here. Yeah, like when you're in school and the teachers tell you the cleaner's job is not to clean up after you. Imagine if the kids started to have to clean up after themselves properly. They'd be like, "Oh, okay, we get it now."
Yeah.
I think I honestly
How
believe
quickly would the Lithgow Academy have been cleaned if 1,200 cleaners were there?
1,300.
When you were there? Oh, it was 1,200 when I was there.
No, I think it went up to 1,300 when I was there.
I didn't really keep count.
Well, I just remember somebody telling me that.
Brian, you can't.
Me just sitting there at the front doors every morning going 1, 2, 3, 4.
Click, 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 arthritis, click, click. And then somebody points out, you know your clicker only goes to 3 digits, right? Oh, that's why I've only been counting.
Wait, they come in different doors.
301 people.
Half the population's off sick. Oh no! It's the swine flu epidemic all over again.
Yeah, but no, it's about respect. It's about respecting the people around you and the place that you're in, and this is your duty to maintain it and respect the people around you. That's the whole point. Whereas in this country, we've got people smashing post boxes and smashing. I don't know how you smash a post box. I meant to say a phone box. Imagine if you've
smash a
got
post
someone
box.
smashing a post box with their bare hands, then
Crowbar. You could do it with a crowbar.
bare hands.
Oh, bare hands.
But no, that's what it is. And it's,
Why would you want to smash anything with your bare hands? That would,
Mm.
a phone booth, that would hurt.
I think they're probably throwing bricks and phone books
I
straight
think they're
away.
probably kicking it.
Probably. But I respect bare hands. But that's what it is.
I
It's about
respect bare
respecting
hands. As all we should.
The
Respect
idea.
all bare hands.
Better than bare arms. Anyway,
Let's not go into that.
one last point here was something you were saying about the main single player aspects and whether or not it's gone and whether or not some companies will move away from it. Amy Hennig, who was recently left EA because she was working on that single player Star Wars experience they cancelled, she started her own independent game development company, and she says that it's very difficult to make a single player game because they're expensive and players continue to expect more and more. That does not gel for me at all when it comes to what EA are saying, because they're trying to say they're prohibitively expensive. But it's not EA just maximising profits. That's a different thing altogether.
They're prohibitive from the point if you're trying to maximise profit for your shareholders.
That's exactly what I just said, but it's still a choice.
Yeah, no, but that's what I'm saying.
It's still a choice because you can choose what your company does and then try to
clarifying the angle he's
maximise
coming from.
Yeah. No, I know, but what I'm saying is that she seems to agree slightly with you, but what I'm saying is that she also was saying things like there must be a market for shorter, like 4, 5, 6 hour single player game experiences, and I completely disagree with that, because that's exactly what Call of Duty became before it scrapped its single player entirely. And for me, shortening it down to that, it's never worked particularly well. I don't think it has the benefit people seem to immediately think that it does.
I think you can see why, if you were making a game and you were to make a good living out of it, you would then go towards the more online aspect.
Well, that leads us on to the E3 roundup, where we're only going to talk about one game today. And it's only for a few moments. It's just to note that because it links to the single player stuff, Bethesda have announced their new next generation sci-fi single player game.
Next generation?
Yeah, see, when you put next generation and sci-fi next to each other, I can't get Jean-Luc Picard out of my head.
But next generation, there's
Yeah.
not about how it might not even be like next gen consoles, it'll just be like, there won't be such a difference.
Well, it won't be on Xbox One and PlayStation 4, and I think that's what they mean. Whatever the next step happens to be, I think that's what they mean. But they're not in control of what the consoles do, but they're saying it. Basically, what they're saying is we're not planning on it coming out for what's here.
Yeah, it's not going to be so foreseeable, and it's way ahead of what you're playing at the minute.
Exactly, but they're putting a long time, and they said that it's Bethesda's first whole new franchise in 25 years, and they're putting a lot of time into it, and they've been planning it for a long time, and that's a large investment. I still think that even if they angle away and do a lot more multiplayer games, certain companies like Rockstar, Bethesda, CD Projekt Red, all the rest of it will still do single player games. There's too much of a market for them, even if they expand and do or sideways to do other things as well. But I'm looking forward to seeing more about Starfield. I'm really excited to see more about that.
Cool.
That looks really interesting. So with that, that's everything from today's ShadowCast. Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe below and watch the rest of our videos. And you can also follow us on Facebook. And all that leaves me with is to say thank you to Abigail Mowat.
Thanks.
And to Brian Anderson, our special guest.
You're welcome. Catch you later.
And to say bye-bye. See ya.
Bye.